know you said last time you faced Toronto that you were really going to challenge the team just to play more complementary basketball on the defensive end. Over the last 3 games, allowed just 39 points in the paint, top 3 in the NBA. So what adjustments have you guys made? Yeah, sorry, knock on wood. What adjustments have you guys made when it comes to just slowing the ball down and being able to defend in the paint?
Well, the last Toronto game is, clearly at the end of the spectrum that you're not going to win that way, I think. So we started not to make improvements on that, but it is something that we've been talking a lot about, working on. We did it before, but I think sometimes feeling that in the game against a team, that is very, very good at attacking in transition. Their transition game is, if not the best, one of the tops in the league right now. So it puts a lot of pressure on us to do that. That's a big part of the game plan tonight. How well we're able to not just have balls thrown long with flyers, but when people are with Barrett's bringing the ball, if they see space, they're hitting those gaps. We have to make sure that we're not just running back and giving effort physically, but mentally being in a position where we can almost look at it like as a full court shell, and let those guys see those bodies there, and it's more of a deterrent than anything.
And then offensively, just really scoring by committee right now. It seems like multiple guys have stepped up and played big time offense with Trae Young being out. What have you seen offensively that you've really liked over this stretch?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of situations where guys are in a little bit unfamiliar ground because Trae dictates style so much because of his ability. So when he's not making a play in pick and roll, that means someone else needs to have the ball in pick and roll. And it may not be pick and roll. It may be a get action, passing, playing more through our bigs. So it's an identity offensively that can coexist with what Trae does as well. It's just, I think it's different guys playing to their strengths. But it takes some time, to figure that out. When I see Jalen Johnson in the corner, it's a good idea, maybe dribble out and pitch it to him and let him be a playmaker. So that connectedness between the group, and I think it comes down to 2 things. We have to be spaced to recognize those situations and to connect, and we have to play with the pass. We have to move the ball and make quick decisions and attack so that we don't get any isolation situations, which I don't think that's our strength with our group right now. There's nothing wrong with that. That sometimes we say that and it feels like it's less than, and it's really not. It's just maximizing the team.
Some of it's probably what you alluded to just now, but playing without Luke tonight too. What kind of challenges does that present, being down Trae already now with Luke?
Yeah, because Luke shoots the ball so well, you can kind of forget his playmaking skills. He's a guy that is really good at pick and roll, and he's good at making plays. Sometimes I want him to shoot, and he's getting in the lane, and something good happens. So again, another guy where we collectively need to make plays together, whether that's a cut and a pass or someone playing pick and roll, but not against a loaded defense, doing it in transition. There's a lot of nuances with a new group that's trying to kind of expand, morph an identity offensively where we can be successful.
Coach, it's a cup game tonight, and the first cup game ended with a little bit of controversy at the end, but part of the reason for this cup competition is to eliminate garbage time and have teams play until that final whistle, because the points can count towards your standards at the end of it. Do you think the league needs to remind everyone that is one of the goals of this competition?
Yeah, I probably overreacted after that game just because it felt awkward to me personally. Because I preface it by saying I don't have an answer either. It's the point system is tried and true, as you know. So I think those situations are going to be there. And it's a different tactic. It's a different strategy. And sometimes, because those games are spread out over a period of time, there's an adjustment that you have to kind of make going into the game. And we explain that to our players, and reminding ourselves that this is just part of the cup competition.
Coach, you talked about just defensively the adjustments that you made. I'm wondering, when you're looking at a team that comes in with such pace, transition game as well, are there any elements of the game defensively that you're willing to kind of part ways with in order to get yourself set?
You know, the most obvious one would be, getting back versus the opportunity to get an offensive rebound. I think you can delineate those situations. The biggest challenge with that is when someone goes to the basket and shoots a layup and you have somebody that's spaced, are they able to recognize that they're not gonna get that pass and not stand in the corner, because they were open, but to really sprint back, and it's more of a reaction mentally, I think, than it is anything tactically. But where we're at defensively, I think, the big part of when I talked earlier in the year about kind of our progress and, being urgent but also patient, we're just working on our habits all the time. And, the hope is that over time, that becomes foundational. It's much easier to adjust to a game when you have kind of a normal, foundational defense. In this case, transition defense is supposed to be foundational. It just gets put to a test when you have a team that runs like they do. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, last game, I feel like we saw you guys go to KP in the post a bit more, and I was just kind of curious if you.
Last Toronto game or just last?
Just the last game.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I just wanted to ask if you guys think that that's going to be kind of the focal point of the offense moving forward, or do you think that was just kind of?
No, that's very conscious. We've got a guy that's, capable of not just scoring that, but getting fouled. And, I think sometimes because Kristaps has such range shooting the ball, we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of those opportunities, particularly as there's times when the game just slows down and it lends itself to that. We don't want to necessarily try to run and then pull it out, because you get up against the shot clock anyway. But he's the guy on our team that, when he has the ball in certain spots on the floor, that's able to generate a good shot, especially if he has a mismatch. But so that's something obviously that we want to do. Okay.
Thanks, Quin.